Hello, everyone. This transport, the fighters that were in that sea zone on that carrier, we're going to take these fighters and float them down and landing in West Europe. Hey everyone, it's Enderman 103 here, coming to you with a recap of round 4 of our ongoing E40 game. I've been playing as the Axis, and General Fund has been playing as the Allies. It's been a brilliant game thus far. I've really been enjoying it. A lot of fun new stuff, and a lot of good times and bad times from both sides. But man, it's been a blast playing this game. So we'll start off with Germany, going in turn order here. Germany did not do a whole lot last round. They've been crippled pretty good by the Allies. They were planning to do a sea lion, and then the Americans were brought into the war prematurely, and they decided to sink that fleet that the Germans had built with a bunch of bombers. And so now sea lions not happening, at least not in the foreseeable future. So last round, Germany just really consolidated, moved things around, decided to buff up some defense because it was the last round that Russia was going to remain neutral. We knew that, but we wanted to remain neutral with them on our turn. A, we didn't have the offensive power, but B, we got an additional $5 for it, so we'd be wasting $5. We couldn't gain any ground. That was just a silly thought. To declare war on them prematurely. So they invaded us. Russia invaded Germany, and they took Romania and Poland. We will take it back, but they got a ridiculous amount of money from doing that. They got $4 for the territories for owning them, and then they got an additional, I believe, 6 IPCs in national objectives, because I think they get 3 IPCs for each originally Axis or pro-Axis territory that they control. So ridiculous sums of cash coming in for that. It was absurd. And Russia didn't do anything up here in the Siberian front. Neither did Japan. But speaking of Japan, they did do a lot this round. What they did do, throwing things around. They did this. They took out a huge American fleet, and I did the math, and America lost, I think, if I remember correctly, about 140 something IPCs worth of ships in that one battle. Now granted, the Japanese lost a handful of destroyers and planes and fighters in the process, but that was a big battle. It was quite telling for how the Pacific will go in the future, but now that they've won in the sea, they're losing on land. The British have decided to start liberating the Southeast Asia and southern China, so China's getting some money back, and Britain's been pumping tanks out in India, so Japan, that's going to hurt them a lot. But Japan, they've been preparing, hopefully they've been preparing appropriately enough, but we don't know yet. We'll see, because India can definitely pump up a lot more ground units on the mainland than Japan can for quite some time. They're going to be outproducing us on the land. So we're going to see how that goes. What Great Britain did over here, they decided to start building a fleet, built 2 destroyers there, and then they took Scotland back from Germany, putting the nail in the coffin for Sea Lion. Although it was already dead, they had to make sure. They had to go make sure that the Germans wouldn't get any fancy ideas. And then those little buggers, they brought a transport up and took southern France from the Italians with 2 infantry. And the Italians abruptly jumped on it, but goodness gracious, that was a cheeky little move. No one saw it coming. I didn't, at least. Someone may have. I know more experienced people, such as No Limit, Warden. They probably saw something like that coming. I did not. Not even a little bit. And then Anzac, what they've been doing, well, they destroyed the Japanese transport here. America destroyed another Japanese transport there. I knew that those were goners, but had to get a hold of the Money Islands. And then Anzac, other than that, they've been building a little fleet here off the coast of New South Wales. Destroyer cruisers, so they're building up a little screening fleet, and they built a strategic bomber last round, and that's something new that I don't really see Anzac do a lot, is build bombers. They also sunk. Japan took out a British battleship, the Seazone 39, last round, and was left with a carrier and a cruiser. And the Anzac came over in a heroic feat with 4 fighters, sunk both. They lost 2 fighters in the process, but that was a big blow to the Japanese Navy, so that was well done on their part. America has been getting the short end of the stick on the Allies. They have no fleet to speak of in the Pacific right now. They still have all their islands, including the Philippines, which is one of the most important. It's a victory point, and Hawaii. You can see there, in the mainland in the Pacific, they don't have a lot of land units. They've been building up bombers. Big old whoppers, and they're going to start nuking ships out of the sea here pretty soon, is my thought. And then over here, they've been building the fleet, a European-bound fleet, no doubt. And they got some heavy tanks on there, which is a technology that they unlocked. They did not start with that technology. They unlocked it. They actually bought it. One thing I thought was interesting, though, is this fighter in Nova Scotia cannot get to the mainland. It can't land anywhere because there's no air base there. So what I always do to get fighters across, I land them in Iceland, because this guy can only go 1, 2, 3, 4 to a sea zone, and he can't even get to Gibraltar. So he has to wait. He has to wait there while his buddies go play around with the Axis and go on grand adventures. He has to take another turn to either fly to Iceland and then to Britain, or go back to U.S. and then go down to Gibraltar. And then Italy, what did they do? Well, apparently no one saw it coming, but they took Egypt. And I'm surprised no one saw it coming. I think everyone forgot that I had the bomber technology, or the paratrooper technology. But we paradropped 2 infantry into Egypt, and we took that, which is another victory point for the Axis Europe. So that was, I didn't think it was a big deal, but apparently, again, no one saw it coming, which caught me off guard, that they caught them off guard. But we'll see if we can hold on to it. I doubt it. I doubt we can hold on to it, because we've got these British tanks here. We've got a factory down there so they can pump out more stuff. So unless we really get our crap together, which Italy still has not gotten their crap together, we're going to be fighting long and hard to keep Egypt. And that's about it. The French saved their money. I mean, I guess if we're going to mention everyone. The French didn't do anything this round. They just saved their cash. I believe they went up to 9 IPCs. So they could slap down a destroyer next turn. They could slap down a transport, a few infantry. Well, they can build 2 things, so a couple infantry. Infantry artillery. I don't know what they're planning, but I would assume that they're going to try to add to that Atlantic fleet there that the British are attempting to build. We shall see. It's been a very, very, very interesting round. The Allies have had quite an eventful round in Europe, and Japan has been struggling, but they've gotten kind of a little bit of a toehold, but really, the next 2 rounds, definitely 3 rounds, we should see a winner of this game. Because if Japan doesn't get her stuff, doesn't get an advantage in 2 or 3 rounds, then, that's gonna be it. Same thing goes with Germany. If Germany can't get an advantage against Russia here in the next 2 or 3 rounds, then that's going to have to be called as an Allies victory, because there's a lot of Allied stuff on the board. A lot of it's been destroyed, but there is still a lot of Allied stuff on the board. So we're going to see how this goes. Thank you guys for sticking around. I love you all so much. It's Cinnamon 103. Saying peace out.